friends and frenemies, because I know you're watching too. Today it's December 1st, and if you're like me, Santa has been bringing you quite a few cardboard boxes, or maybe it's summer and you just bought an appliance. Whatever the case may be, if you have extra cardboard boxes, I'm here to show you how to use them to suppress your weeds. A traditional method for suppressing weeds is using weed fabric and gravel. I actually have weed fabric double layered under all of this and quite a few inches of gravel here, but the weeds still manage to come through. I'm not super concerned about weeds that grow in my gravel. I can walk on them, I can get the bears to pull them up, I can salt them, something natural that's not going to harm my bees. As you can see over here though, I don't have any gravel down. I usually suppress my weeds in this area by using a thick layer of straw. The straw then composts down and makes this beautiful dark soil that's just absolutely full of microorganisms and worms. However, this summer, when my husband had an accident and was hospitalized, and then it was several months of recovery with me as his full-time caregiver, I was not able to keep up with the weeds in this area. Some of them grew taller than my head, and they really started to choke out my blackberry vines back here and my young blueberry bushes. Now, I've torn some of them out since then, but they were tangled up and this whole area was covered with weeds that were taller than me. I usually say, see a weed, pull a weed, and because I tend to keep up with it, if I see one, I pull one, or I have the bears pull one, I usually am able to keep up with it, but I have learned to plan for the unexpected, and I want to use some cardboard boxes that I have now to kind of keep the weeds out of this area. Generally, if I have weeds along my pathways or out in the yard or even in my front flower beds, I'm not super concerned with them. Most of them serve as ground cover. That's what this is doing now. It's covering my soil. It's not actually a bad thing. Or they have medicinal purposes, which is great, like dandelions. However, I'm really trying to get these blueberry bushes bigger. They were so small when I started, and these blackberry canes. And as I said, this is a pretty wild area back here that hadn't been planted in probably 80 years, and because the soil is so healthy from all of the straw and spent fertilizer from the coop that I put in here, the weeds just get taller than me. So this is one area that I'm really going to focus on keeping the weeds out of long term. Cardboard boxes are cheaper than weed fabric. As you can see, I had to get a Keurig and a dishwasher because mine both shorted out when there was a wreck in my front yard. And so I'm just going to use what I have and lay them down in this area. Cardboard boxes are not a permanent solution to your weeds, but there is no permanent solution to weeds. Not weed fabric, not gravel, not even spraying them with some sort of herbicide. They're gonna come back because plants are gonna grow where plants want to grow. So this is just temporary, but they will compost down in the area, and for now they will help choke out most of it so my blueberries can have a chance, just a chance. So I have my Leatherman here. I have the Leatherman Signal. I'm gonna use it to help break down my boxes a little bit, and then I'm gonna use a few landscape staples to hold them down because we're in an area that gets a lot of wind. And then once these compost down, I'll be able to pop those staples right back out and reuse them. There we go. We'll see how much that covers. All right, so I'm actually going to start right here. I'm not going to cover all the way to the base of my plant because I want it to have room at the base to grow and expand, for the trunk to grow and expand. And I also want to leave some room for all of the worms and the microorganisms that are in my soil that help make my soil so healthy. I want to leave some space for oxygen to get through to them so they can continue to thrive and survive and keep my soil healthy. I'm not trying to kill my soil, I'm just trying to kill some weeds. Just have a little landscape staple here, just gonna pop it in really easy with a mallet. I'm not gonna use as many as I would use if I was doing landscape fabric. Just a few to keep it from blowing away. I guess you could also use rocks or just something heavy sitting on it. Another great way to use those cardboard boxes is if you happen to be building some raised beds before you fill them with your dirt and your compost and start planting them with your plants, whatever that might be. You can always layer those at the bottom to help prevent weeds and to help your dirt stay in there instead of sliding out of the bottom if it's slightly unlevel. As I said, eventually rain and just time will break this cardboard down, but for now it's doing me a solid, helping to slow my weeds down. Thanks, Santa, you the man. If you've been naughty, so Santa hasn't brought you a bunch of cardboard boxes, maybe you don't celebrate Christmas, or maybe you haven't had to make a major appliance purchase recently, a lot of stores always have extra boxes you can call and pick them up in the morning or in the evening, or just ask your friends for the boxes that Santa brought them. I'm sure they'd be happy to have them off their front porch. Okay, you can see that we're making progress. I've covered most of the big areas, the walk areas, and so now I'm going to cut some of the smaller pieces to fill in around. I'm almost done. I finished the front. I left room for the strawberries and the blueberries. It does not give you the perfect Instagram aesthetic, but I have tried mulch and I have tried straw, and they just feed the weeds and they end up 6 foot above my head. So we're going to try the cardboard and try to choke out the weeds as best we can. If you enjoyed any part of that video, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns, please put them below, and Sunshine will get back to you as soon as she can.